Call the meeting to order. This is our regular meeting for today, Tuesday, October 22nd. For those in attendance here in the gallery, also for those in attendance online, be aware our meetings are recorded for public viewing and placed on a publicly available website. We'll first do our territorial acknowledgement to acknowledge that we are on the unceded First Nations land of Ehasat Chinnikit territory.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Admissions, deletions. Nothing to add or, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried.
Motion to adopt the minutes from the September 24th, 2024 regular meeting of council.
Second.
Any errors or omissions that anybody saw? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried.
Motion to adopt the minutes of the October 15th, 2024 special meeting of council.
Second.
Thank you to Councilor Lewis and Councilor Deck. Any errors or omissions in this set? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. And then business surprising. Oh, in front of us, we have a committee of whole recommendations. I believe we've got 2 resolutions in there that we could move. Did you want to speak to this at all, CEO Nelson Smith?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Recommendations that staff formally requests the Ministry of the Attorney General to enact a regulation to make the local government bylaw Notice Enforcement Act applicable to the village of Zeballos, and that staff prepare a bylaw, notice enforcement bylaw, screening officer policy, and amendments to existing bylaws as necessary.
Second.
Perfect. Thank you. This has all come out of our need for bylaw enforcement, and so there are processes and procedures that we need to follow in order to make that happen. So thank you for having this on here, and thank you for putting it forward, Councilor Lewis and Councilor. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. All right, and also correspondence policy. Did you have anything to add to this report, CEO Nelson Smith?
No, nothing further on this.
This was another ask from us to get some, a need for this village to have a policy to do a correspondence.
That's correct.
Okay, so recommendation in the report.
You move that the village of Zeballos correspondence policy be adopted.
Second.
And questions or comments? Not seeing any, so I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Next, we have some correspondence. You want to speak to this at all, CEO Nelson Smith?
Thank you. I did have Mr. Copeland come in and speak to me about this. I know that there's been a couple of councillors in the past that have expressed interest in this, in having a cenotaph, an area for us to honor the fallen and the people before us that have strengthened our land. And so I brought it forward to council to see if there's any way that Brian can support council in seeing this forward.
Perfect. Questions or comments from council? Councilor Lewis.
The one for victims, workers, we have the workers memorial already. So would this be like just for the military, or because we already have the workers' memorial, unless we put it in a place where we put a cenotaph for the military.
Heard of this, was that a, I don't know that that was a question, but I'll put that through to
That was
the
a
team.
question. That was a
Okay, through
question.
the CAO.
Thank you. This is just an idea in concept. My recommendation to council would maybe be outside of council, the councilors that are interested in seeing this forward, meet with Mr. Copeland, discuss some strategies on seeing this done, and then perhaps bring it forward as a budget item for 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And speaking just historically, I know that there is through Veterans Affairs of Canada, there's a community memorial program where they cover up to 50% of a maximum $50,000 project. So I know we've discussed this multiple times since I've been on council. I think it's a fantastic idea. If any of the interested parties just want to let me know, then maybe we can sit down with Mr. Copeland and I will pull that information again on that grant. I've circulated it a few times over the years, but I'll pull that information again and we can have a good look at it. There will be decisions that need to be made about pursuing the project budget and then placement as well. Councillor Deck.
I'd be more than glad to meet with Mr. Copeland. I think it's a great idea.
Me too.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So that's where we'll start off. I'd like to be a part of that conversation because I'll pull that budget for the grant application and see where that could possibly help us. And then we'll come together with some kind of budget and consideration for the council as a whole at the table. I'll be in touch with everybody about that. I don't think we need a resolution. Okay, set up a meeting with Mr. Copeland. Thank you for that. Anything else on that one? Seeing none, we'll move right along to Maquinna Regional District request for reallocation of community wildfire grant funds. CAO Nelson, did you have anything to add to this or more information?
Yeah, I did invite Mr. Koopman, the Protective Services Manager, to come to this meeting to speak on behalf of it. It is his request, his initiative, and can speak a little more fluently than I can. So he is available on the Teams if council's got any questions on the request.
Thank you to Protective Services Manager Koopman for being here this evening. Nice to see you. I will put that through to helpful. Does anybody have any questions on the request? Councillor Duff.
Just a comment, Mayor, everything looks pretty good to me in what I've read, so I think it's a go.
I agree.
Okay. So there is a recommendation embedded in here that we could embedded in the report that we can move.
Recommend that the village of Zeballos reallocate $7,500 of the 2023 CRI Fire Smart community funding and support to the Strathcona Regional District to support the funding gap between October 2024 and January 2025 that allows the SRD to maintain a regional wildfire risk reduction coordinator.
I second.
Thank you for that. Questions or comments on the resolution? I just have one. How do we account for any gaps moving forward in the future? Or is that an internal conversation between the staff here and at the SRD? I think that would probably be the CAO Nelson Smith. Or is that just Mr. Koopman?
That would be to
Mr. Koopman, yeah, how do we prevent, because we're required to have it as a, in order to receive funding, in order to receive grants, is that a conversation that you'll have between the staff of the member municipalities and yourself?
Through your worship to council, that is correct. We're in conversation with all member municipalities and First Nations to ask them to allocate a small chunk of their future grants towards this position. You're just the first one that we're having this conversation with.
Wow, from last in the alphabet to first conversation. Thank you. Protective Services Koopman. Okay. So seeing nothing else from council, I'm gonna call the question on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you, Mr. Koopman, for being on the line to answer any questions. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh. Oh,
No, Julie, board got moved till the 30th this month.
thank you for that.
You're welcome. You made my heart beat for a little second there. I thought you were coming to the Campbell River Hospital mass casualty exercise.
Oh,
Because that's where I'll be tomorrow. No, board got moved till the 30th this month.
and I just received, thank you for that. Because it got canceled on my, so I thought it had reverted back. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That saves you a trip, Julie.
Right.
You don't have to go out of
Exactly
town
right.
tomorrow.
All right, how about your exercise, Protective Services, Koopman?
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Okay, so we're onto the volunteer fire department monthly operations. Did you have anything else to speak to with this CAO Nelson Smith?
Thank you. I just know that since this report was written, that the department was able to do some additional training with finesse. Speaking with the chief, they're very close to being certified, if not already, but I haven't had that final word yet. So, super proud of the team in 2 very short years to be where they're at.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know that they were extremely excited to be doing that training this weekend, so. Questions or comments from council?
Go Zeballos Fire Department.
Yeah, please express to them our appreciation for their hard work. Hearing nothing else and no hands waving wildly, we are on to our public works report. Anything to add?
Nothing from me. Council could direct questions to our public works foreman. Happy to answer any questions.
To council then, any questions on the public works report this month? I have one, and it's really not a question, it's a comment. I was talking to someone at an event this week that hadn't been in Zeballos for quite some time. And the comment was that, wow, the village is really looking good. So as a general comment, I think that reflects very well on our public works team. So please let them know that that was a comment that was made to me at an event this week. And yeah, good job.
Very well, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Councillor Jack.
Mayor, who is he? Anyway, have you tried out your sander yet? Does it work?
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
And you hooked up the plow?
yeah,
Good. And everything looks good?
Yeah.
You won't snow this year.
No. Thank you for saying that, because now it won't snow. Thank you for that, Councillor Jack. And thank you to our Public Works Foreman for the report. Nothing else from council. Okay, well then we'll move on to the CAO monthly operations report. Do you have anything else to add to your CAO's report, CAO Nelson Smith?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Questions or comments from council?
Just curious, they're waiting the results of lot 501. Do they have a timeline, months, 2 months?
CAO?
Thank you. I don't have a direct timeline. No, that's something that I can request of the consultant and get back to council.
Thank you.
And that was gonna be my question as well as, next steps. In that project. So now we await the results, but then what comes next?
Thank you, Mayor Colborne. So essentially what this project is just a feasibility study. So based on the results, McElhaney will write us a report on what our next steps could potentially be. So essentially at the end of this, we will have a report that we can action.
And that will include multiple options for mitigation, non-mitigate, all of those kinds of,
That's correct.
perfect. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? I had one final one, top of page 27, 2025 budget, landfill management, other internal matters. When does the hour budget meeting start?
November 12th.
12th, perfect, thank you for that. That'll be a cow.
That's correct.
A committee of the whole. And then you will let us know what to be prepared to bring to that meeting in an email.
Yes, that's
Perfect, amazing. Anything else from anybody? Seeing none, we're gonna move on to the Heritage Board repeal bylaw. CEO Nelson Smith, I'll turn it over to you again. Do you have anything?
No, nothing further. This, yeah.
Perfect. So the recommendation at the bottom of the page of page 28.
Recommend that bylaw 553 2024 Heritage Board repeal bylaw be given final reading and adopted.
Second that.
Questions or comments? Of course, just for background, we're doing this today because the Heritage Board really isn't a board anymore. We don't have the required number of people to sit on it as a board. We will still have the function of the museum. Nothing changes there. We just, there's no sense in having boards if there's not the bottoms to fill the seats on that. Okay, so nothing else from anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. And then next is the cemetery bylaw amendment bylaw. And this is to clarify what can be on the columbarium niche markers. So there is a recommendation in here as well.
I'll move that bylaw 554 2024 Villages of Zeballos Cemetery bylaw amendment bylaw be given final reading and adopted.
Second.
Perfect. I think Councillor Jack just snuck right in there. There's the delay on the camera. So questions or comments from anyone? The table. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is carried. OCP staff report, CAO Nelson Smith. I'll turn this over to you again. Do you have anything to add or?
Thank you. I do on this one. So, based on legislation, after the first reading of the official community plan, council must have a public hearing, which allows the public to give input into the plan. So we're not expecting any further readings tonight other than the introduction of the official community plan. We still have plenty of opportunity to make changes as we go along. This will start the process triggering the public hearing.
And that is set to be for November 12th. Is that a requirement of all council?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so recommendations, page 34 at the top.
Recommend that the Villages of Zeballos official community plan bylaw number 555-2024 receive first reading and that staff provide public notice of a public hearing to discuss the proposed plan for November 12th, 2024.
Second.
Thank you, Councillor Janice. Questions or comments from council? Will
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. Will the team that helped us put this together be present at the hearing to answer any questions?
Yes, they will.
Thank you. I don't expect too much because we had such great public input in the beginning. That was great, but yeah, open to it and happy to have it. Questions from anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So that's carried. And finally, new business. We have the Canada Community Building Fund Agreement. CEO Melissa Smith, do you have anything to add to this?
Nothing further, thank you.
There's a lot of information here. It's just they've changed the process, right?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. It used to be Community Works. Now it's Community. Or no, it used to be what?
And the building.
Building, yes, and now it's Community Work. Interesting. Are we happy to sign the agreement? Picking up through it. So recommendation, page 73.
You move that council authorize mayor and corporate officer to sign the 2024 to 2034 Community Work Fund Agreement between the Village of Zeballos and UBCM on behalf of the Village of Zeballos.
Second.
Questions or comments? I, for one, am really glad that they broadened this out, that there's more eligible projects, because it's great money to have and a great fund, but it was limiting. It still is limiting, but it's a little broader, so thank them. I'm thankful for that. Nothing from anybody else? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. We do have an in camera this evening, Tom.
Council to go. Want me to go ahead? Okay, council go in
Councillor
camera under
Lewis.
community charter section 91A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for his position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or another position appointed by the municipality, and 91C, labor relations or other employee relations.
You want- Thank you, Councillor Deck. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. So now we have our public question and comment period. As most people in the gallery know, questions asked of subject matters that are on this agenda, relevant to it, and have what say you gallery. Any questions this evening?
How was that question? Or comment? I
Or
want
what?
to say, I've never seen the fire department so busy, and it's wonderful to see how much training they've got, and we've got to thank all the volunteers who step forward to put up their time and their energy into being firefighters. Thank you to those people.
Here.
I thought I had another comment, but I think I forgot. Oh, sounds pretty good.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate when folks come out.
Yes.
So thank you to the two folks in the gallery this evening. And with that,
Well, this is where we leave, unless you've got a comment to make, this is where I go.
okay,
Thanks, Lorna.
thank
Nice to meet
you.
you, Brian.
Thanks, Lauren.
Okay.
We'll be in touch, folks.
Time's up. Thanks for saving my day.
Be in touch.
Yeah, can you lock the door for us, Simpson? Thanks.
What was that, an adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, that was a tie.
I'm gonna count Councillor Janice as a seconder on that one. I'm sorry, I was looking right at her. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? That's carried. Thank you for that, folks.